This presentation is on William Torrey Harris. He was born September 10, 1835 in North Killingly, Connecticut. His home life: he was first born of William and Zilpah Torrey Harris. His father owned a farm with several hundred acres and was also a goldsmith and a banker. William was very fond of his mother and in later years never failed to visit her at least once. Farm life was a good life. William would spend his days reading and planting vegetables. William's mother wanted every opportunity to give him a good education. In 1844, he had the opportunity to go to an urban school. Before William's little red school was switched to a larger white one, all that was required of the students was mastering the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. This would soon change for William when he enters an urban school in 1844. Teaching had changed and William wasn't accustomed, and teachers taught in a more business-like fashion and when instruction was by the clock. In the year 1848, he attended at least 5 different New England academies over a span of 5 years. The first 2 we don't know the names of, but the others being Woodstock Academy, Phillips Academy at Andover, Massachusetts, and then prepared himself for Yale. After attending Yale, he worked as a teacher in 1858 and later as a superintendent of schools in St. Louis. In 1875, he was the president of the National Education Association. From 1873 to 1880, he was the president of the National Association of School Superintendents, and from 1889 to 1906, he was the United States Commissioner of Education. He was an effective administrator and reformer. He introduced into the curriculum studies in art, music, science, and manual arts. He also favored professional study of education for teachers in training. He was a firm believer of the free common public school, and he worked to extend the public high school and incorporated the kindergarten into the regular St. Louis school system. He believed in the separation of church and state and reinforced the nature of school discipline by criticizing corporal punishment and favoring self-discipline that was based on internalized moral values. Harris was influenced by German philosopher George William Friedrich Hegel, and his philosophy of education elevated the importance of freedom and reason and self-direction as it was guided by the institutions of civilization. Schooling was one of the processes by which youth could rise above their unborn savagery and to participate in a civilized life, bringing students face to face with the accumulated wisdom of humanity and to teach them to find their place in the spiritual nature of all existence. He was also influenced by Johann Pestalozzi's object teaching. Object teaching has emphasized sensory learning. Children are guided by the teachers, and they examine form or shape, number, quantity, or weight of objects, and then would name them after having a direct experience with those objects. Harris sided squarely with subject-centered view of learning, believing that the wisdom of humanity resided in modern academic subjects that, for democracy to flourish, public schools had to bring this civilizing insight to the experience of all American youth. Before he died, he did his best to organize all phases of education on idealist philosophies like Hegel and Pestalozzi. He died on November 5, 1909 in Providence, Rhode Island, and this is a direct quote from William Torrey Harris. "The great purpose of school can be realized better in dark, airless, ugly places. It is to master the physical self, to transcend the beauty of nature, and school should develop the power to withdraw from the external world."